Hey everyone, it's Chrissy from Everyday Survival Gear, and today we have an obligatory clickbait title. I bought the cheapest flashlight on Aliexpress. How's that for a title? Now everyone can click through and subscribe. So basically, I went out there and I bought the cheapest 18650 flashlight with a reflector that I could find. So I wasn't looking for a zoomy or nothing else. I was simply just looking for a flashlight with a reflector, 18650 that kind of looked like a S2. So I found this. It cost me a whopping $2.32 US cents. So in Australian, that's about $50 now, somewhere around about there. So yeah, pretty cheap. To put it into perspective, the cheapest Convoy S2 Plus that I could find, which is just a host, is about $8 to $9 US. So this is still substantially cheaper than a S2 Plus host. So enough of the wisecracking. Let's have a look at it. So this is it in all its glory. You can see I did put on a little bit of lube there. First of all, it doesn't look too bad. It actually came looking pretty sleek compared to how I thought it would look. There's no as such blemishes, no missing anodizing. The anodizing isn't rated, but I would say it's anodizing type 2 because it is pretty glossy. Probably too glossy to be type 3, but we'll see. So you can see I'm scratching that, and me myself, I can only see like light marks on that now. I don't know how well you guys can see that in the camera, but it's holding up pretty well. So it is anodized. That's a good start. It actually comes with a few surprising features. Green tail cap, which is glow in the dark, even though they are pretty hard to make glow in the dark, but I'll show you guys. Can you guys see that? Probably can't really see that, can you? Nah. But it also comes with glow in the dark O-ring at the front, so that's also cool. Yeah. So overall, like, the build quality is actually pretty decent. If we undo the back threads, we'll see the back threads are not anodized, so that's them there. I did lube them, but any surface that isn't anodized really has to be lubed. Keep that in mind. The tail cap is this old school style setup, so we'll take it apart after and we'll see how it works. There is actually a back O-ring, so that'll help keep our water. That's also a bonus. As you can hear and you can see, the threads are super smooth. Like, they come apart pretty easy. They can sometimes be a little bit of a pain to put back on, but not really. You just saw how easy that went on. That's just as easy as any other light. The back ones are a little bit, like, not bad. Nah, actually that was super easy. I got nothing to say about that. And here's the front. You can see I did kind of slightly modify the front end just by doing a spring bypass, but of course that's always how it goes. And that's the battery tube there. Alright guys, so we're definitely going to take this outside and see how it works, but first of all, we'll pull it apart and I'll show you guys a few things that I do like and a few things that I don't like. The tail cap is really, it's nothing special. It's just a standard style. It's kind of one of those tail caps that if you did want to change the tail cap out, it's going to be a pain in the butt. But you can mod them still if you did want to put in a more powerful driver or something in here. You can usually just push them through like so, but there we go. So basically the switch is like this type. Style switch like this will be able to handle plenty of power. Anything that you can throw at it, it'll be able to handle fine. So you don't have to worry about the switch. The switch will last. You won't have any issues with that. The battery tube itself, you know, you can see it's got O-rings on both sides. So the light is pretty much IP rated. It won't be rated too high, but with single O-rings. Only thing I'd kind of worry about is because there isn't many threads. Maybe water can kind of seep in, but I doubt it. Now the driver is a little bit quirky. So we'll pull it apart and I'll show you guys. My one's still stock-ish because I actually had a different LED in here before. And I took it... how tight did I do that? And I took it back out so I could re-solder in the stock LED to show you guys how it performs stock. If you buy this light for $2.30, I would suggest upgrading the LED because the LED is the weak point. I still got the stock driver in here, and I don't actually mind the driver itself. It's not too bad. It's nothing special. But yeah, so this is the stock LED. It's supposed to be like a Cree Q5 or XPE or some garbage like that. But to be honest, I'm pretty sure it's pretty fake. Let me just click on here. That's not really working. I'm not using my phone that I always use, so I don't know how to get this one to zoom in. There we go. It's a very small die LED. It probably is about the same size as a Cree XPE, but I really doubt it. So it's fake. It is very cold white, so keep that in mind. And it is CK, whatever that means. Brand. And this is the driver. The driver is a 5-mode driver. It is a piece of garbage, but it's actually, if you put in a proper LED, if you take this LED out and you spend the $2 extra on a proper LED, this light actually performs pretty similar to a stock S2 Plus. It's not too bad. So this is the driver. You can see nothing spectacular there. Just a few resistors, a little MOSFET. Is there even a MOSFET? I can't even see it. A control chip. Yeah, nothing too fancy. Of course, it's a $2 light. What do you expect? The only qualm that you do have with this light is it does have this pill, and it does also have the capability in the head of being able to thread a pill in, but this pill does not thread in, obviously. It just sits in here kind of loosey-goosey. So the heat dissipation isn't going to be that great, but that's not too bad considering it's a $2.30 light. That's okay. If you really wanted to, you could easily get some aluminium foil and loop it around and whack it in and push it down tight, and it should be sweet. My only other qualm with the light is it's got such a friggin' small LED, and they give you the biggest gasket ever. Look at that. It kind of ruins the stock beam. The lens is actually glass. Is it? Yeah, it's glass. Wait, let me just... Yeah, it's glass. So the lens is glass. It's not AR coated or nothing, but it is glass. And the reflector feels like it's plastic, but it's probably plastic with like an aluminium or some sort of coating on top. So it's still plastic, and even though it's plastic, be careful because of the coating that they put on top, you can still short circuit it between positive and negative because this coating is metallic. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole light taken apart. I guess now we can take it outside and see how it performs, and see what we think. Alright guys, so now we've got the light on outside, and you can see it does work pretty good actually. Yeah, it's more than enough to light up the whole backyard. With this LED, it doesn't really put out great amps, maybe just about 1.5 amps. So you're not looking like that many lumens, maybe 400 lumens max with this little LED. But you know, if you just change around the LED, which I'll leave a link in the description, you know, you can get like a real Cree XML or XPO for $2 or $3 on Aliexpress. And if you keep the driver stock, you know, you're still ahead by maybe about $8-9 compared to a S2 Plus. It's not really the quality of an S2 Plus, but it isn't actually too far behind. If it had the pill that was attached to the edges, the pill that's screwed in, I would rate it as highly as a S2 Plus. So it's starting to dim now. You can see it is starting to dim. It's probably starting to get hot. I'll change modes so you can see if there's any PWM. Let me fix up the camera. It's medium mode. That's low mode. It's blinky. It's other blinky. Now back up into high mode. And we'll go to a tree at 100 meters. You can't really see it that much. But yeah, it's not too bad. So I'll leave this light on. Here to the left. And to the right is a Convoy S2 Plus. So obviously the S2 Plus is a lot brighter. But this light now is starting to heat up quite a lot too. So you can see it is getting dimmer than at the start. So it is like about half the brightness of an S2 Plus. But it is also like less than a quarter of the cost. Anyways guys, I might do another video on this where we put it in some water and we put it for a test and see how it does. And because it's such a cheap light, you can do tricks like this with it, and it doesn't really matter. Alright, I'm going to throw it in the air. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. I threw it in the air and it landed all the way over there, and it's still working. That's the mad thing about having cheap lights, is the drivers aren't that complicated, so not many things to go wrong. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.